This presentation looks into factors that influence public trust in government institutions. The dataset used for this study is the Arab Barometer 2007, using the Morocco subset. The dependent variable to be explored is an index of indicators measuring the level of public trust in the Prime Minister, courts, Parliament, police, and the political parties. The dependent variable will be tested using a reliability analysis, followed by comparisons to three independent variables using cross-tabulations, measures of association, and statistical significance. Results of literature review suggest that political and economic conditions in the country, public access to the government services in person and online, scandals involving officials, corruption, and political participation influence the level of trust in government institutions. Based on personal conjectures and findings from literature review, the independent variables to be tested are opinion of current political situation, perception of corruption, and opinion of current economic conditions in Morocco. Hypothesis 1 is that the level of public trust in the government institutions is positively influenced by opinion of the current political situation, meaning that those with a more positive opinion will have a higher level of trust. The second hypothesis is the perception of the amount of corruption of officials has a negative causal relationship with public trust in government institutions. As perception of corruption increases, trust decreases. And the third hypothesis, the opinion of current economic condition positively affects public trust in government institutions. Those with a better opinion will trust their government more. The dependent variable is to be combined from 5 indicators which measure trust in the Prime Minister, the courts, the Parliament, the police, and the political parties. In order to ensure their suitability to be combined into an index, a reliability analysis has been performed. The alpha value of 0.8466 shows that the indicators are indeed suitable. All but one alpha, if item deleted values, indicate that the index would not benefit from their exclusion. The value for the police shows that alpha would increase, however not significantly enough to exclude the indicator, and thus shall remain part of the index. Upon running the cross-tabulation for comparison between the level of trust in government institutions and opinion of political situation in the country, we see that the chi-square probability value is 0.00000, which means that there is less than 1 in 100,000 chance of relationship due to a sampling error, and thus the relationship is statistically significant. Because both independent and dependent variables are ordinal, and the table measures 3 by 4, tau c is the appropriate measure of association and reports a value of 0.32462, which translates into a strong positive relationship. By examining the percentages in the table, we see that poor opinion of the political situation corresponds with low level of trust in the government, and more positive opinion of political situation corresponds with high level of trust in government. Therefore, hypothesis 1 is correct. The cross-tabulation for trust versus perception of corruption reveals chi-square probability value of 0.00000 and tau c value of negative 0.23832, which means that there is a moderate negative relationship between the variables and that it is statistically significant. The percentages in the table show that those who perceive there to be almost no corruption among officials are more likely to have a high level of trust in the government, whereas those who perceive there to be corruption amongst almost all officials are more likely to have a low level of trust in the government. Therefore, hypothesis 2 is correct as well. The cross-tabulation for trust versus opinion of economic conditions in Morocco shows chi-square probability value of 0.0000 and tau c value of 0.32060, which means that there is a strong positive relationship between the two, and that there is almost no chance that the resulting relationship is due to sampling error. The percentages in the table show that those with a very bad opinion of the economic situation in Morocco tend to have a low level of trust in the government, whereas those with a very good opinion tend to have a high level of trust in the government institutions. These findings support the third hypothesis. The analysis shows that all 3 hypotheses are correct, as well as findings from literature review. Public opinion of political situation has a strong positive relationship with the level of trust in government. Chi-square probability value indicates that there is less than 1 chance in 100,000, and this relationship is due to a sampling error, and is thus statistically significant. These findings support research by Iragama and Welch et al. And confirm hypothesis 1 as correct. Perception of corruption is shown to have a moderate negative relationship with the amount of trust in government. Chi-square probability value for the cross-tabulation shows that this relationship is statistically significant as well, and confirms hypothesis 2 and research from Iragama. Opinion of economic conditions in the country has a strong positive relationship with public trust in government institutions and is also statistically significant. This relationship confirms research from Iragama and Welch et al., as well as hypothesis 3. A conclusion that can be drawn from findings is that opinion of current political situation and economic conditions in Morocco better predict the level of trust the population has in its government institutions, because the measure of association indicates a stronger relationship than that between perception of corruption and the amount of public trust. This could suggest that the government's political and economic performance are more important to the public than perceived corruption of officials. Although two strong relationships were identified, more detailed research can be done on what constitutes public satisfaction with political and economic conditions, such as measurement of political participation, opinion of markets, government subsidies, state debt, etc. Explorations of possible effects of scandals involving officials and availability of e-services as discussed by Welch et al. And Jones could supply other possible explanations. Qualitative research could also potentially provide further insights into the topic.